So we're doing normal camping stuff, you know, we set up, we hang out, we go walk around, I think Mike set up like trail cams and stuff like that, you know, and go back to do...
And this is our, so we had Bigfooted once prior to this, in Torreya, and this was, I think, our second, like...
Well, we had been to JB Starkey before, too.
Oh, right, okay, right.
When I got you with the whole bat prank thing in your tent.
That's right.
And, so anyway, so we go, we set up, you know, and Mike wants to do a night hike. And I'm pretty new to the whole thing.
John, what tent is that?
I think hiking in the wilderness at night's a bad idea. Panthers and bears and snakes, oh my. You know, I didn't know it's really not that big of a deal at the time. And so he hounds me all night to do this, to where it's midnight, 2 o'clock, something like that, you know, eventually where I'm like, okay, fine, let's go, you know. So we go, and Mike is very, very into the whole thing, and I'm not. So every like 5 feet, every 5 to 10 minutes, Mike stops and is doing like a Bigfoot howl or like doing a tree knock, and I'm sitting there with a spotlight and a big Bear Grylls machete, like, you know, like, what's going on? What do we have to do? You know, like, I'm thinking I'm about to fight a bear, and he's like, I'm looking for Bigfoot, you know? And so we do this, so he's making so much noise. Every animal in like a 10-mile radius knew there were 2 idiots walking around the woods that night. But what do wild animals do? Like human, you know, they hear humans, they see humans, they run away, right? So I shouldn't have been as worried as I was. Anyway, so we're going along the trail, and it's a pretty well-established trail, and we turn this corner, and I got my spot, you know, and I go and I shine it, and all of a sudden I see 2 sets of glowing eyes staring at us. And him and I both work EMS, and a big part of EMS is honestly just paying attention to, like, details, right? So we see these eyes, and there's like a big palm bush here, and there's a big palm bush here, and the eyes are in between these things. You can't really make out shapes or anything, but you see the eyes are glowing. But if you know anything about palm bushes, you know they're too flimsy to support even an owl. Like a possum, a raccoon's not going to sit on this thing. It's not going to happen. And so anyway, but they were at like a type of height where my first thought was, oh crap, there's hunters out here poaching, you know, where they're not supposed to be. So my first thought is, please don't shoot me. So humans don't have eyeshine. I didn't know that at the time. So anyway, we hit the lights. I'm thinking human, hunters. I drop the light so we don't see them. I'm like, hey guys, you know, real sorry. We're just, you know, messing around. Hope we're not bothering you. You know, we're just having some fun. And like, dead silence. No bugs, no birds, no nothing. No nothing. And it was really eerie. And I'm like, you guys okay? You guys having fun? Good night, you know, whatever? And like, nothing. Dead silence, not even wind. I shine the light back up, and there's the eyes staring at us until the set on the right turns and looks at the other set, and then looks back at us, and I go, uh-oh. Like, I didn't actually say that, but all the hair stood up the back of my neck. I remember taking like a half step back, going like, and like slowly lowering the light, and like holding my machete up, going, you guys okay? And that's when he finally spoke up, and he goes, hello? And like, nothing. I shine the light back up, and they were gone. I go, nope, I need an adult. And I didn't say that, but so I turned, and I hit the tree with my machete to mark exactly where we were. And dude, we hightailed it back to camp. So the thing about Mike, when he's getting to Bigfooting, the thing you know about Bigfoot people that go look for Bigfoot, is these people love walkie-talkies. They love walkie-talkies. So Mike had left a walkie-talkie with our buddy John, and he had the other one. So we are like almost jogging down the trail to get back to our camp, to the safety of our thin nylon tents. And Mike gets on the radio, John, be advised, we're coming in hot, we had an experience. And John, he's like such like an even, smooth guy. He's like, copy that, I hear, you know, you guys are coming in on this side of the camp. And I don't remember if it was north or south, but say he said, I hear you guys south of the camp. Mike goes on, negative, we're coming in hot from the north side of the camp, repeat, the north side of the camp. And then you hear John, And I don't know what he heard in the woods, but he comes back in. I've only heard him like nervous this one
and
time.
You've worked EMS with him for how many years?
Years. This is the only time I've ever heard him rattled. He came back on the radio, goes, copy that, north side of the camp. If you guys could hurry back, that'd be great, Yeah. I mean, we're almost running, like, never run with a full Bear Grylls machete, by the way. That's just a safety hazard, but, Anyway, so we get back to camp, and, dude, it freaked me out so much. Now, like, we were up to, like, 4 or 5 in the morning almost. So we go to bed, and the next morning we wake up, and we actually that must have been day 2 then, because I remember we all packed up and we hiked back up.
Yeah.
So before hiking back to the cars, we hiked back out to where we were, which was clearly marked from me hitting with a machete, and there was a big rock in the trail, so it was very obvious where we were. And so we're there, and so we're staying on the trail, and we're talking about the whole thing. And we've seen like the Bigfoot show enough to know that you're supposed to go out, one person's where you saw it, the other person goes out to where you were. So Mike walks out, and you're 5'11"?
5'9".
5'10"?
5'10", 9 3/4.
Yeah, 9. Yeah, no, you're 5'10", dude. It's
okay,
cool.
all
yeah,
right.
It's fine.
You give me that.
It's practically 5'11". So I'm staying on the trail. So Mike walks out at 5'10"-ish, and I go, raise your hand. So he gets to about this far above his head, and I go, stop, because that's where the eyes were. So this thing's at least a foot taller than him. But also, so Mike is right behind the one palm bush, right in front of the other one, but it's also a depression in the ground, So he was actually lower than like where we were. So anyway, and so we go out there and we're like, well, we're gonna find some Bigfoot prints, right? No prints. We found like what could be like a ball of a foot plus a toe, maybe heel, whatever. Nothing was very conclusive because it's a pine forest. Everything rains down and it's hard packed, and that's how it is. What we did find was a really big handprint that was clear as day, but it's like we were so new to the outdoors back then.
We didn't have any plaster. We didn't even know how to do that.
Well, I mean, plus we're not looking for big hands, we're looking for big foot.
Right, yeah.
This is a whole different creature.
What's this big hand thing? I'm not worried about that,
Nobody looked for big hands.
It didn't occur, yeah. I mean, people should look for big hands. But it didn't occur to me until much later, like months later, that think if you're like a special forces guy, you're a sniper or something, and you want to hide from somebody that maybe sees you, you're going to duck down behind that bush, right?
Yep.
And you're going to plant that hand right on the ground. And if you weigh 700 pounds, that handprint supporting your weight is going to make an impression on that hard-packed ground. So maybe that's what happened.
Yeah.
Maybe the handprint was rain runoff from the trees. I mean, all I know is we saw some eyes that night. They were about the same height, and they were at the type of height that if you had 2 big bears out there, but bears don't travel in pairs like that. It's a mom and a cub. Right. 2 adult bears don't do that. So I don't know. I don't know what it was, but it was clearly about 7 foot tall.
Mm-hmm. And how far away was that from here?
Oh, dude, like a mile?
Mike to Aggie.
Go ahead, you're breaking up.
We're coming in hot, man. We have activity.